Are you ready? Should I start? Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett, and I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it, especially if you love the movies?
I had a dream.
Hashem told you to dance in a tango contest?
A dancing teacher wants to tango with you.
Critics are raving about Tango Shalom. It's clever and inventive, with right chemistry on and off the dance floor.
You're a lunatic!
A funny and thoughtful family film with a warm heart and a playful spirit. From the director of My Big Fat Greek Wedding,
Oh, that's my Fernando.
Tango Shalom, in select theaters now. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, and your pharaoh of physical media, Robert Meyer Burnett, and this is Let's Get Physical Media, episode 43. But you know, and I know, that we can't do this show just with me pontificating. We all need our favorite German. All the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland, Mr. Dieter Bastian. Dieter, how are you this week, sir?
I'm fine, Rob, and I'm walking in your footsteps, Rob, because today, after Let's Get Physical Media, Paul from Twinflix invited me to come on his show, so I will stream with you live, then with him live, so for once I get the feeling to be you streaming 24/7, okay?
Wow, and I hear a little bird told me that it's their first live stream. Twinflix is taking the plunge, and they're doing their first live stream. So you're their guinea pig, essentially.
Yeah, a baptism of fire, Rob. Really.
They're going to experiment with you.
Correct. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane, and welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media. Even that this week is not a little bit lackluster considering physical media, but we have other stuff to talk about, and let's dive into it, Rob. We all know No Time to Die has opened in Europe. I have seen it, and Rob, you sent me a letter about it from Hassan, and I would suggest we start with the letter immediately.
Well, jump right in, sir. Jump right in. Is it a spoiler-filled? Because I haven't seen it, you know.
I would say I put it up, but I've read it a little 5 minutes ago. It's really spoiler-free, I would say.
Oh, okay, good.
So,
Because
let's
otherwise
go.
I'd have
Comes
to
from-
reach through
yeah.
the screen and pull out your guts and strangle you
Come on,
with
Rob.
them.
You all know you know everything already. Probably. So Hassan comes to us and he says, "Hello, Dieter and Rob. I suppose Dieter already watched No Time to Die, as I have, Hassan. So here's my opinion. It's a pretty mediocre James Bond story, but a quite enjoyable Daniel Craig movie. Rami Malek, Lea Seydoux, and Lashana Lynch deserved better. Especially Lashana, because she was supposed to be the new rejuvenated Agent 007. Which means they had the obligation to film a badass action sequence or something interesting with her, but instead she was reduced to kill some dudes and be James Bond chauffeur. On the other hand, Ana de Armas was so good I hope she gets her own spin-off movie or TV series. All deaths were anticlimactic, Most supporting characters were completely irrelevant to the story, and the third act was just plain awful. But I like Daniel Craig a lot, so I would say it's a decent action flick to watch for a second time at home. It was better than Spectre. On another topic, I'm starting to collect my favorite movies on regular Blu-ray. I got the theatrical cuts of Lord of the Rings, but I want to ask you what version of the extended cuts would you recommend? Should I wait for the remastered edition that will be available soon? So we start with the end of the letter, the Lord of the Rings. Are the extended on Blu-ray new remastered when they come out again? Aren't they out on Blu-ray?
Yeah, they already are.
Here's 4K, Mister.
Here's the thing. The 4K versions, I mean, there's a lot of controversy over some of the aspects of the 4K transfers. I thought they were pretty beautiful. But the thing is, really, and I'm biased, I think if you want Lord of the Rings, you need to get the Blu-ray editions because they have the special features, which are some of the best special features ever done. And there's about 10 hours of special features for each film. And being one of the team that worked on them, I would say that they're some of the best special features ever done. If you don't care about special features, get the 4K transfers. But I think the color is a little bit better on the 4K transfers. But there's a lot of people have pointed out that there's some mistakes in the 4K. Yeah. But that's true of anything. I mean, it really, if you're just a Blu-ray aficionado, get the beautiful Blu-ray box sets that came out that have all the special features, and get the extended editions, obviously.
Correct.
That's what I would say.
Correct. So, Rob, I've seen No Time to Die on Thursday at the midnight premiere. I did send you some nice pictures via WhatsApp. You haven't checked them. And from my perspective, I have seen you on observation when you were you hyped to get the first reviews in. And then your friend Mark sent you, it is Spectre 2, which actually, Rob, shouldn't surprise you considering Lea Seydoux is in it and Christoph Waltz is in it, and they continue the story. For me, the film, it has the same problems as Spectre, I would say. The opening sequence, spoiler alert, is the scene with the Aston Martin, which is in the trailers. And this is actually, that scene never gets topped on my end in the rest of the movie. So we've got the great beginning again. And for me, Ana de Armas was really the highlight, but she's only in it perhaps 10 minutes. I don't know if Daniel Craig and her got a little bit of already chemistry from Knives Out that carried over to No Time to Die. She was really a highlight, but unfortunately a little too less of her in it. And for me, considering the ending left me cold, I have to say. Considering it's the last movie from Daniel Craig, I was hoping a little bit more. The action is well done, considering the rest of the movie, but it never tops the beginning with the Aston Martin. And everyone gets their due. They wrap up all the story beats from Casino. Everything is get put into the mix of No Time to Die. And considering Rami Malek as the villain, he hasn't that much screen time, and I'm really having a hard time to figuring out Rami Malek, if I like him or not. I like the mask that he wears. So for me, the beginning was great, and then you've got a nice movie, but it is like your friend Mark said, Spectre 2. Rob.
Yeah, I have to say that ultimately, looking back, I'm looking forward to seeing the movie. Obviously, even if Bond films are not the greatest, I've always enjoyed the Bond saga. I felt that one of the big problems of the Daniel Craig era of Bond, other than Casino Royale, I've had problems with all the films. No one cares about the inner life of James Bond. I think as a fictional character, leaning into his personal life, as Roberto Suarez put it on our Burnettwork member call yesterday. Bond's greatest nemesis during the Daniel Craig era has been retirement.
Yep.
You know, it's
because
like
he's retired again
and again and again. And you know, the inner life of Bond. If you're going to have a character that is born out of a pulp, B-O-U-R-N-E, born out of a pulp sensibility, a larger-than-life hero, keep it that way. You know, it's Bond has become the way Louis in Interview with a Vampire is always like, I don't want to be a vampire. Skyfall, Spectre, and now No Time to Die, Bond doesn't want to be Bond. And your larger-than-life heroic character is somebody that I grew up wanting to be. It's the same problem that Star Trek Beyond had, where Kirk begins the movie, oh, I'm bored. I don't, being an explorer, we're never going to get anywhere in the universe, and why are we doing this? And there's this bizarre, I think it's definitely a product of our time. You know, we're so interested in deconstructing our heroes that we forget to make them heroes again. And I think that's incredibly problematic. I don't like a world where everybody is on equal footing, because we're not. There are people that are really good at their jobs, and we need them to save the planet. And they might all have an inner life and an inner turmoil and inner emotions. That's fine. I agree with that. But not in a Bond movie. Enough of his romantic entanglements and, oh, I feel sorry for you, blue, boo, hoo, hoo. That's not James Bond. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what that character is supposed to be. And I'm not saying they can't do new and interesting things with the character, but my God, man. I mean, it's all familial trauma. Bond and Blofeld are stepbrothers and all this crap. It's like, that is so not what James Bond was conceived of. And it's such, again, I think it's a real problem. I do think that modern artists, people that work, storytellers these days, have a real problem with larger-than-life heroes. I don't think anyone knows how to write them. I think it's hard to write characters that way, so they fall back on emotional trauma. Emotional trauma has become a trope. It's become a shortcut to fall back on to give something meaning, and I hate it. But
it's missing the escapism fun for me.
Yeah, that's what the James Bond. I mean, you know, every man wants to be him, and every woman wants to be with him. And I know in our day and age where everybody's like, well, everybody wants to be on equal footing and treated all equally and all that, but it's like, fuck that, we're not equal. And I'm like, human beings, our souls are equal, but everybody has different abilities and different gifts, and they want to do different things with their lives. And now the homogenization of human beings is so bizarre to me. Where look, I want heroes. I'm not on the same level as a hero. And I want to watch somebody, man or woman or, I don't know, trans, I don't care who they are. Give me a hero that I can root for. I'll root for any character that's really well written and kicks ass. And, you know, what they've turned Bond into is this mopey, maudlin, reluctant hero. And fuck that shit. That's not James Bond.
I have to say, Rob, the movie, once again, reflects the title track. You know? You were going on last week. We will, when we come to the live chat, we'll get into that. And the new one reflects the Billie Eilish song, oh, la, 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 you know.
I mean, I know that is, it's really interesting. I mean, I'm a huge fan of You Know My Name, and I love Another Way to Die. I think, and people rip on that song all the time, and I'm like, you know what? That song, off key, it's got the dirty guitar, and it still has an underlying brassy sound to it. It's one of my favorite Bond themes. And Writings on the Wall, I mean, you kill me now. Yeah, and even Billie Eilish, who I really respect, I would much rather have had her song Bad Guy be the theme song. He's a bad guy. Do. I mean, and also her song, having not seen the movie, it seems like it's a little spot on. You know, as he puts Leia Sadu in the train drives off. It's like, I'll never see you again. I'm a sad man. I don't know where we're going to. Come on, man. Remember when you were young and your heart was an open book? You used to say, live and let live.
Live and let live.
You know you did. That's what I want.
Yeah.
And we're it's such a weird, and this is happening to every one of our Picard, Bond. I mean, it's what are these people? What are you telling us? Don't turn our larger than life heroes into grounded, normal people, because they're not.
It will be nice to see what you think of it when you finally see it. When will you see it, Rob? This week?
I see it Wednesday night. Elizabeth and I are going.
Wednesday.
We're seeing it in IMAX.
Okay.
But you know,
Great.
Dieter,
Yeah.
there are good things that happen, and I don't know if you
Okay.
saw this, but there's a couple of box sets that were announced this week. That for those
Here
of
we
you for those of you who love Cobra Kai,
Yeah.
the Karate Kid box set was announced. The 4K versions of all 3 Karate Kid films, and if you're a Cobra Kai fan, you know, I like the Karate Kid, but I think this is something I kind of have to get just to have it in the collection. You don't want somebody to say, "Did you?" So I think you gotta. But
Available separately as a 4K, so I will have to get the set.
yeah, you're gonna have to get the set. You know, you're gonna have to get the set now.
And considering what we hear about season 4, the third one is canon too. So
Yep.
of course I will get the box set, even if I have the first one on 4K already.
Yeah. So that was exciting. You know what else is exciting?
Yeah.
Even though I think I've, along with Star Wars, this next one I probably bought more times on physical media than I care to admit. The Evil Dead Groovy collection is coming out. This is Evil Dead 1 and 2 and Ash versus the Evil Dead in a 6-disc box set. I mean, I think I need to just the box alone. I know someone wrote in this week and said, well, Rob and Dieter, is it just the boxes you care about? No, but I think look, to me, and let me ask you if this is true. To me, it's always about the transfer. It's always about it lives and dies with the movie itself.
It should be the first point on the list.
Yeah.
The list. But sometimes, like we both said, we already have the Lord of the Rings in 4K. We both said the new Ultimate Edition is not the Ultimate, but what have we done, Rob? We both pre-ordered it because it looks dope.
Yeah, it looks, I mean, that's what you want. You want your collection of, and I also think, look, it really bothers me now that so many movies today just come in a little Blu-ray case with a disc with no special features. I mean, one of the things about Blu-rays, and now 4K, you want the packaging to sort of reflect the esteem
Correct.
with which you hold the movie. So if the movie's something that is your favorite that you love, you know, you want the package. You want when you, and Laserdiscs did that.
Yeah.
You know, Laserdiscs
Already.
had a heft to them, and when you took them out, and I would always buy new inner sleeves, like the Japanese inner sleeves and the vinyl covers, and it would retain. I've got Laserdiscs that are 30 years old. When you open them up, they still have that new Laserdisc smell because they've been kept sealed in that plastic. And you know, the heft, the weight, it was so much fun when you pulled out a Laserdisc. It felt special. You know, it added something.
Love the double covers, especially. Reminded me of the old double LPs.
Yeah, I remember when MGM started doing that. You know, and you'd get something like Logan's Run.
Goldeneye was a double fold out.
Yeah,
which was great. Yeah.
And speaking of MGM, our old friend, our new friend, but our hero, George Feltenstein's, he's gone back to Warner Brothers, and Warner Premiere announced a couple of cool things that I'm excited about.
Okay.
One of them,
under the Warner Archive label.
Yeah, pardon me. Did I say Warner? Yeah, Warner Archive. They're releasing one of my favorite comedies from the early 80s, which is Ron Howard's Night Shift. Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton and Shelley Long, I love this movie, and Warner Archive is putting it out. I don't know. I didn't really look at the specs, to see what's on it. But it's a movie that I love, and they're also putting out another movie I loved when I was a kid, the original Children of the Damned. Or wait a minute, is it Village of the Damned that's first and Children of the Damned that's second? Children of the Damned is coming out, and from Warner Archive, definitely a must-buy for me. I love movies about scary killer children that are aliens, so I'm very excited about that. And there are two other movies that I love, and they're getting re-released that both star Warren Beatty. One is the long-awaited Heaven Can Wait. If you haven't seen this film, this is a wonderful, wonderful movie starring Warren Beatty. I do love this film dearly, and one of my favorite movies, actually, of all time that really affected me when I saw it. My mom took me to see this. Is Reds. Warren Beatty also directed this. Warren Beatty, Diane Keaton, and Jack Nicholson, about Americans getting involved in the 1918 or 17 Russian Revolution, the communists.
Paramount release, Rob.
It is. They're both Paramount.
Oh.
They're both.
Oh, okay.
I meant to. Yes, those are not Warner Archives. Those are both coming from Paramount. Those were significant releases that I thought worth mentioning. Criterion also has. They announced The Red Shoes again is coming to 4K, which is nice because that's such a beautiful, beautiful film. So very excited. There's still great stuff coming out in physical media, man.
Considering the Evil Dead box, I will probably not get the box because I already have the Ash vs. Evil Dead on Blu-ray. The season had a not so good ending, no cliffhanger ending. I already have all those movies. I probably will, in this case, not get the box.
I don't have Ash versus the Evil Dead, so I figured, why not?
So then it's a great package, Rob. Then it's a great package if you don't have the series, because the series was great, had great fun with it. But unfortunately, it was cancelled and should have gotten another season, I would say.
Yeah.
Because it had a great Mad Max-like cliffhanger on the third season.
This week, this coming week, we've got the 4K Halloween discs coming out from Shout Factory.
Yeah.
I
but
ordered
I will be honest, Rob, I'm only interested in 1 and 2.
You're not going to get Halloween 3 in 4K?
Halloween 3 would be probably one I'm interested in, but considering 4 or 5, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even remember, to be honest. I ordered some bundle off their website, off the Shout Factory website. I don't remember what it was I ordered, to be honest. Probably ordered them all with the vinyl or whatever.
Remembering 4 or 5 at all for me.
Yeah,
for me, 1 and 2 is totally satisfactory considering the Halloween franchise. It hasn't quite a level for me as my friend Jason.
No, I ordered them just to have. It's going to be nice because Halloween on home video, it was the very first piece of physical media I owned. I had the Media before it became Media.
For a lot of cash.
And it was $54, and I watched that 100 times. And ever since then, Halloween, the transfers have always been a little spotty. They're because a lot of times they color timed it exactly, but the movie's supposed to be taking place in October, but they didn't shoot it in October. They had to keep bringing in all these leaves and blowing them around the set to make it look like it was a fall, but it wasn't. And very, very interesting. But it's exciting that they're coming out. And I'm, Dean Cundy, his photography in Halloween, Halloween 2, and Halloween 3 still. And Halloween 3 is kind of a cool horror hybrid science fiction film,
Mythology.
Which I love. I wish that they would have leaned more heavily into Nigel Neal's original idea, the Quatermass author. But hey, you get what you can, so that's exciting. So I know we both were a little sparse this week, but what'd you get this week, Dieter?
Let me just first say, Rob, what did I watch this week besides No Time to Die? Before the show, Rob, I watched an older movie, and if you watch a movie that it's almost 40 years, it's tough. But this one, really, Rob, I was really surprised how much I loved it. I watched for the first time The Dead and Buried.
Oh, you never saw it?
I watched it. I've never seen the movie.
And Dan, let me fix that for you.
I was really, really surprised how much I I like the movie.
It's really good.
It's really good. Unfortunately, it's not a good-looking movie. I've never owned the movie, so I don't know how a DVD of this movie would be looking. So it's not a demo-worthy disc, even if it's a 4K
No,
disc.
and
But,
I was talking to somebody earlier about it.
Yeah.
It's certainly Blue Underground put that out. They do great job. I mean, if you look
Yeah.
at their Final Countdown disc or the
So I
full
don't-
sheet discs.
don't say there's anything wrong with the transfer, but it's not demo material at all. But I really love the movie.
Although I will
I've
say
seen
this,
it.
the late, great Lisa Blount, who we saw in John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, and of course, David Keith said she of the bodacious tatas in Officer and a Gentleman from 1982. There's great boobage in Dead and Buried.
Yeah.
Lisa Blount
was,
represents very respectably.
And I was surprised how horrific the movie actually still
Yeah,
was.
there's great violence in it.
Yeah.
There's some
Considering
great
the
gore.
effects. So I was really surprised. So 2 thumbs up for me for Dead and Buried. Well, it was a cat in the back for me, Rob, but totally earned it. So I watched yesterday, Rob, you bought it too for the first time, Hunting Ground.
Yeah.
And a nice movie too. I was expecting a little bit more just of an exploitation flick, but it has more depth to it than I was thinking about, and the ending was really, for that time, not bad, I would say. So I see why this movie had censorship problems.
Yes.
And yesterday, considering my category 3 stuff, I watched Robotrix. I showed it last week, and this is a great trash movie. Probably at the top of his game. Sex, violence, Rob.
Which
they really
movie?
pushed
Which is this? Should I get
Rob-
this?
Robotrix definitely, Rob. Definitely.
Is that
You
Vinegar
will laugh.
Syndrome?
No, this is 88 from
Okay.
88 films from the UK. You know it. It came with a book, the great book. So a poster was in it. You know, an 80 page booklet. You really should get it, Rob. I laughed so many times yesterday considering costumes, and they really went for the category 3 stuff. So a lot of naked stuff in it. You know.
I
A
love
lot of,
naked stuff.
Yeah, a lot of sex, not consensual from both parts. So, Rob, get this movie. For me, great fun. Considering what the movie entails, considering the story, just insane. Only my friends from Hong Kong can do it that way. What I've seen too, Rob, of course, this week, you know, as a Battle Royale and Hunger Games fan. Rob, what did I watch this week?
Squid Games.
Correct, Rob. I watched Squid Game, the Korean series on Netflix. Totally loving it. Have seen it completely because only my Koreans can make a marble game with marbles, fitting into an emotional framework. Unbelievable. Rob, have you started it? Did you have time to start?
No, I'm going to do that this week. I have to say I just started. One of my favorite YouTubers who to watch her is to have a crush on her is Impression Blend. Okay. Mariana Neal. I mean, she's Ukrainian, I think, and you know she reminds me of my ex-wife, which is a good thing. She suggested, or she has impeccable taste. If you want to watch somebody who really knows her shit, Impression Blend is a YouTube channel you should watch. Yes, she's a beautiful woman, but she's wicked smart, or as they would say in Good Will Hunting, wicked smart. She has great taste in books. She reads a lot of genre fiction, and she specifically loves horror. And I think she has pretty impeccable taste in horror. She put me on to a Netflix series, a Danish Netflix series called The Chestnut Man. And it's
Is it new?
It's new. It's a Danish series, and all you have to do is watch the opening scene, and you'll be in. It's cops going after a serial killer we've seen it, a million times before, but this one, it's really well done. So, mad props to Impression Blend, to Mariana for. I don't know if I would have. Somebody would have told me about it, but she was the first that put it on my radar. So, mad props to her.
Okay.
She would actually be a good guest for this show because she's got, especially in October, she has really great taste, and her YouTube channel, her content's really, really good. She definitely classes up the joint. But shout out to Mariana for putting me on, dude. Just the opening scene, I'm like, wow, that's rough. It was, but intriguing. And so that was something, and I need to watch Squid Game. There's a lot of stuff
I hope you get to it. The only difference between Battle Royale and the Hunger Games and Squid Game, in Squid Game, the people are not forced to play the game.
Right.
It's all on their own free will, But there's a little bit of money involved, and money is a nice driving force.
It always is.
And the great thing is, they are all children's games, Rob, but they're all getting a little bit of a different vibe when it comes to not surviving a children's game.
I watched a clip of them playing Red Light, Green Light, which I thought...
It's the first game that they are playing, Rob.
Yeah.
And you were always attention-filled what the next game will be, considering that they are child games, And they play a kind of marble, and this was really an emotional episode, considering just playing marbles. I won't give anything away, Rob. Watch it, really great. And I think they will do a second season, considering the immense success. The series
it's like their number one show of all time. I mean, they've got
in 90 countries. It says it would be on placeholder number 1, if we can believe the Netflix algorithm. Let's say. But I really, really dug Squid Game. And the last one I've seen before I went to No Time to Die. I've seen Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds this week, Rob. And for me, Rob, I actually canceled my pre-order of the movie. Perhaps when it becomes a Schnäppchen, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit tired of the Ryan Reynolds shtick. At the moment,
I agree.
You just don't cast Ryan Reynolds to play a part anymore. You just cast Ryan Reynolds to be some sort of Deadpool Ryan Reynolds version. What I liked about Free Guy was all the stuff in the background, Rob. When he is in the GTA Saints Row world, there were people glitching. There was a lot of stuff you can detect in the movie. So I would rather have the movie just taking place in that world, but all the outside stuff, considering how the game developer wants to do a sequel and all that stuff. Yeah, it was nice, but didn't quite catch me like I was hoping. So probably only when it will come out as a Schnäppchen. I will
Did you watch the trailer for Red Notice with Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot?
No, I haven't, Rob. Tell me about it.
Well, there's a fight scene in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's the three of them fighting. They confront, and I watched it, and I'm like, I have no interest in this. I hated the way it was shot. I mean, these actors are fine. I understand what they're doing, but to me, it's the nadir of this action genre. I again, there's no watching Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, and Dwayne Johnson in one room. I'm watching a construct. I have no interest in it. It seems like you're watching something that's totally artificial. I don't believe there's no effort to make these characters be characters. It's just you're watching Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds be themselves. It looks like it's a parody TV commercial of an action movie. And I was actually kind of excited for it, but after seeing it...
When does it come out? In November?
It's on Netflix. I'm not sure when it's going to be on. But I watch it and I'm like,
Doesn't it has a budget of 200 million?
Something like that. Some incredible amount of money. And I'm like, I've never been so disinterested in and I hate myself for being disinterested in it, but I'm just like, why am I going to watch this? I miss the days where even when I grew up watching low-budget James Glickenhaus movies like The Exterminator or The Soldier or McBain, I mean, there was an effort made to create a reality. These films, I mean, Ryan Reynolds wisecracking his way through Six Underground, and like you said, the Ryan Reynolds shtick. I'm like, play a part, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. Rob.
do something. What was the movie where his daughter wants to? Here's the story of the women he dated or whatever, and I missed that Ryan Reynolds. The Ryan Reynolds actually played a part, and you know, I really appreciate his very public life with
totally.
Blake Lively. I think they're hilarious together. But even Blake Lively, she was in a movie called The Age of Adeline that I adore. I mean, it's a beautiful.
Unfortunately, I have it on Blu-ray, Rob, but I still haven't watched.
Oh, dude, it's a wonderful romantic fantasy film that deals with a very interesting way to look at time travel, and it is a wonderful film. And I'm like, I would rather see Ryan Reynolds be in a movie like that than what he's doing now, because like you said, I'm sick of the Deadpool shtick.
Yeah.
It makes me not care if they ever make Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
So, is that what you?
For me, and at the end of Free Guy, you've got. I don't know where the YouTube reviewer was, but he said at the end of it, you get a feeling Disney bought 20th Century Fox. Oh, we have to shove in, the references of our own properties, so Marvel reference, Star Wars reference at the end, because now we are the Disney family. So at the moment, at the end of the movie, he actually lands in a game that for me is way more boring than the game he is in the beginning.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So for me, it was great that Disney Plus put it on their streaming service so I can check it beforehand. But really, Rob, I canceled my pre-order. Perhaps as a Schnäppchen, buy 2 get 1 free, then I probably will get it. But other than that, less interested for me. Okay, Rob, you asked me what I got this week. People will probably laugh. Only 3 titles this week. The first one, I heard good things about it, Rob. I don't know if you have seen it. The Vigil.
No, but I do want to get that because that's the Jewish horror film, right?
Yeah, correct. And it has a reversible cover.
Nice.
Cover, Rob. It comes from
IFC.
It's Scream Factory.
Yeah.
It's Scream Factory. I heard good things about it, but I haven't seen it.
I do want to see that. I haven't seen it either. Want to see it?
Yeah. Correct. The next one, action-packed, crowd pleaser. I hope so, Rob. The Paper Tigers. It's
wow.
Heard good things about it. Has certified fresh, whatever that means. Paper Tigers, martial arts action flick. Funny. And did you showed it or we talked about it? I don't know. Of course, Dead Men Don't Wear Black. So, Rob, you know what it means when I say reine Macherfrau, cleaning woman. And it comes, Rob, it has a
reversible cover, nice.
Cover art, okay? That, unfortunately, people, is everything this week from my end. Only 3.
I can't believe it.
But I hope I can make it up with the special edition later.
Okay. I got 4.
Okay.
The first I got this.
Unbelievable.
Rob Lowe, Meg Tilly, and Kim Cattrall in Masquerade. I am actually, Bob Swain, who directed this. I like this movie. This goes along with the. I don't know if you've ever seen. Have you ever seen the James Spader, Rob Lowe film Bad Influence?
Perhaps I can't remember, Rob.
Oh man,
the name rings a bell, but
it's great. If you want to see a great thriller, Bad Influence, and I kind of think that this is like, to me, it's the Rob Lowe thriller double feature. This is not as good as Bad Influence, but I had to get it anyway.
From which company?
It's from MGM. Actually, it's an MGM movie, but it came out from Kino Lorber.
Okay.
Kino Lorber's got an output
Lorber
deal.
Has bought a lot of.
Yeah, they're putting out a lot of MGM titles, and they're doing such a good job. I had to get that. Now, normally for Criterion titles, I wait, till the Criterion sale, but I did wait for the Criterion sale to pick this up. I pre-ordered this from Barnes & Noble, and it came in, and Visconti's...
It finally showed up.
The Damned. I really like this movie, and it's great to have it. I've had it in multiple formats. I had it on Laserdisc. I had it on Blu-ray.
DVD.
Now I have it on DVD. Now let me ask you something. You know, when I buy Criterion, by the way, I love the artwork on this disc. When I buy Criterion titles, now I'm wondering, are they going to put it out in 4K?
That's the problem.
I mean,
do I wait or do I get it?
I you know, I don't know, but I had to get this just because I love this movie, and it obviously I'm sure the transfer will be great, but I had to pick it up. But I'm always thinking, like, do I want to buy new Criterion titles? That Are you going to still buy Criterion? I mean, I did get it for half price, so I know this. As much as I want to buy Criterion titles when they come out, I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm only going to buy Criterion titles, even their 4K discs at the Barnes & Noble sale. Half off. I can't justify buying these titles at full price.
Yeah, correctly.
You know,
we
now
considering
this
Criterion, it depends really on the title. I was contemplating if I would get Mulholland Drive again in 4K, but there's a nice Studio Canal set is coming out.
Yeah.
And from Arthouse Film, I will probably get that 4K set from Mulholland Drive.
Yeah, well, this next one came out in Australia first, and I didn't get it from Imprint, but it came out domestically as part of Paramount's their new retransfers. Breakdown. I love this movie, Jonathan Mostow's Breakdown.
Rob, can you tell me, is this the same transfer as the Paramount release, or is the Paramount a newer one?
I think these are all new transfers because, like, Fatal Attraction that came out, and this was really, really good.
But this morning I checked the American Breakdown, and it seems to have a little bit more special features than this one. Strangely.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? This has a new filmmaker focus on director Jonathan Mostow.
But wait,
it's got
you have the one from Paramount. I have the one from Imprint. You have the Australian one, or is this
No, this is the Paramount one. This is the newly released.
Well, you have the new one. I have the Imprint one. That's what I was asking. Is this really a newer transfer than my Australian Imprint?
I don't know the Imprint one. They might be new transfers. But I think they've done a great job with these, and there is a new thing on Jonathan Mostow. And I really like even the you know, for cheap ass packaging, the O-ring. I like how they have the fold out.
You've got the original cover. Great.
Yeah,
and I love the movie.
And I really like this movie a lot too. And this is what got the job. I think Jonathan Mostow directing T3. But I really like this movie, and this has some good special features on it. So I don't know what the
it has a new audio commentary with Kurt Russell. Is in the audio commentary.
Yes. Well, yes. Is that new? It doesn't say it's new. I guess
it's new. It's new.
Oh, well, that's great. It's on here. So I'm very excited about that. Now, the most interesting thing I got this week, you know I love my Studio Canal 4K re-releases. You've got me some, like the Lady Killers you got me, and you got me the Lady Killers. Now, this is a film that I've always read about.
Okay.
But they put out another one of these beautiful Studio Canal box sets. Dirk Bogard in The Servant. I have never seen this movie. It's a classic of early 60s British cinema. But this is one of these, like, I don't understand what makes Studio Canal, like, maybe this is one of the more highly regarded British films. I've only read about it. I've never seen it. But again, this is another Studio Canal. I mean, they even outdo Criterion. You know, this again, a full-blown special edition. This is 4K, and it's 3 discs. It's got special features, a disc of special features in 4K and on Blu-ray, and a special features disc. It is packed with special features, and it comes with again these really nice, really great booklet with script pages, and I love these things because I don't know when I don't know much about these movies. It's a cat in the bag, and again, it came with a really nice set of stills, lobby cards, stills, whatever. And I guess it's a battle of will between two guys. I like Dirk Bogard a lot. You know, he's not that well known in America, but this is both my special edition and again my cat in the bag. Call it what you want. Very happy to get this, and again, I just really appreciate the time. And Sarah Miles is in this. James Fox is in this. I love these packages, man. I mean, with the spot UV printing on the cover, it's great stuff, and I'm very excited to
It hasn't come out in America?
Not like this. Not in 4K. I don't know if it'll ever come out in America in 4K, but it's definitely worth getting, and really good package and a great special edition.
Awesome.
Studio Canal just keeps knocking it out of the park. Since I got the 4K, the 4-disc 4K Deer Hunter from them, every time they put something out, I mean, they Basic Instinct came from them, and I gotta have it.
Rob, I have 2 more letters to read.
Okay.
So of course there is one. Would you think of it from Omar 94?
No way.
It's not the one from last week. So Omar writes, "Hi Rob and guten Abend Dieter. Since we have seen home media coming out around the same time as movie anniversaries, like how we recently saw the Indiana Jones collection come out around the same time as Raiders of the Lost Ark's 40th anniversary, I might be wrong about this. TV shows come out on home media, but I don't think I've ever seen them come around the same time as their anniversaries. I say this because we have a TV anniversary upon us, October 3rd. So actually today, Rob, 2021 marks the 60th anniversary of the Dick Van Dyke Show, which premiered on October 3rd, 1961. Having seen the whole series, I'm a huge fan of the show. Thanks to its humor and acting performances, the series also had an influence on WandaVision. I'm sure it's been out on home media before, but I don't think it's coming out for its anniversary. That's why I might be wrong about this, because I've never seen any news of a TV show coming out on home media around the same time as its anniversary, the way it does for movies. You can prove me wrong, since I'm sure you have home media for TV shows which might have come out around the same time as the anniversaries. Thanks, live long and prosper. Omar, I think you're probably right. I don't remember a TV show getting a second or third special anniversary release. Friends had a newer Blu-ray box set, but I don't know if it was an anniversary. Wait, let me check. I have it here behind me, but I don't know if it was some sort of anniversary release. No, it doesn't say that it is an anniversary release. I don't know about it. This was the Friends box.
Right.
But
well, a lot of the time they do. In terms of home video marketing, they're always trying to figure out a way to release something during some kind of marketable time. So movies and TV shows will come out for anniversary releases because that's something they can actually promote. So I can't think of anything like right off the top of my head, but when we were working on Star Trek The Next Generation, for instance, on Blu-ray, the season 2, we were celebrating the 25th anniversary of the release of the show. And that was definitely part of what we were doing. I mean, we did it over 3 years, so the anniversary came and went, but we were very, for season 2, we were keenly aware that it was the 25th anniversary, and that was something they talked about in the promotion of the show. So they're always doing something like that.
Yeah, but it's not that common for TV shows to put out new releases, especially when they are driving force, considering sitcoms on streaming services. Netflix this week, Seinfeld is again on Netflix this week for, I don't know how much they paid for it.
Right.
Again, to have it for 1 or 2 years. But they are more really a streaming thing, because I remember starting to collect like Modern Family. I started collecting Modern Family on Blu-ray, Rob, and then, no, it doesn't come out on Blu-ray anymore, just on DVD. And I had to stop it, and I had to buy the streaming version.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
At least in HD, I wanted to have it.
Yeah, it's very frustrating if you want to collect TV and they just have really dumped. I mean, thank God you could get things like Miami Vice, on Blu-ray.
As a complete box set immediately.
Yeah, which is terrific.
Correct.
So that's those are the 4 discs I got this week, and yeah.
So, are you ready to jump into the live chats from last week, Rob?
Oh, however, yes, sir. Please do. Please go ahead.
The shenanigans from last week, Rob. But there wasn't, perhaps not that much. Let me see. So previously on Let's Get Physical Media, Brian Halpern asked me if you get a modded Telecaster or an Ibanez T-style. Well, Brian, I will be probably more of a Gibson guy, but since I don't play guitars, I can't say what guitar would be my style. Ibanez, Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, great, but probably more just a good old classic Gibson. Stubble McShave said, thanks for sending Emmanuel to me. Stubble, I'm not aware that I put on the wrong address on the slip, because I put on Robert Meyer Burnett. So I don't know if you will get it. So Stubble, I don't know that I did send the Emmanuel set to you. Okay. Bill Barclay, considering Star Wars Visions, I watched all 9. I wasn't that impressed with it. It's very anime. Like I said last week, you have to bring this sensibility of anime to Star Wars Visions. If you don't watch anime, it's probably not for you. But Red Comet said a little bit different. I wanted a whole series based on the Duel or the Ninth Jedi. Correct, Red Comet. For me, these were 2 of the best considering the 9. The Duel was the first one, Rob, and the Ninth Jedi was with the girl where they have the assembly.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It was great. Planet 628 said, I just got Lord of the Rings in 4K, and I don't even own a 4K player. Planet 628, that's not a problem, because I always say you always have to have software first before you get a player. I always had software before I had a player. I had Laserdisc before I had a Laserdisc player. I had DVDs before I had a DVD player. I had the Blu-rays before the PS3 came in the house. So it's always good to have software first, and then the hardware comes later. Red Comet goes on. Watched Free Guy last night. It was don't get the hype. Red Comet, I'm with you there. I just read those comments. I will not comment on them, Rob. Tim Hen said, damn those Frenchmen, they allowed the Germans to occupying their country. And Fortunato said, you can't trust the Frenchmen. I will leave that standing without comment, Fortunato said, the Saarbrückers, me, like Dieter, are really French. Okay, Fortunato? You wanted a strike, you get one. Okay? Unbelievable. So let me just see. When Dieter gets angry, he turns French. That was from Fortunato too. Slice Knight said, considering your music choice of Writing on the Wall, none of which are the lyrics of that song. Exactly, Slice Knight. Rob wanted just to bring across the feeling from the song, considering Bond is depressed and I would like to kill myself. It was just the feeling. He wasn't trying to get the lyrics right.
Why would I know the lyrics for that song in the first place?
Then Oma94, I've never seen any of the Fast and Furious movies, considering the last one. Good on you, Oma. Tim Hens said, always been curious why anyone would buy a movie they truly dislike, completist or not. Well, Tim, like I said in the first show, we are junkies. Look at Rob and myself. We buy Star Trek Into Darkness. We buy it. I'll say it, Rob. We buy it even if we hate it, Considering my travel arrangements, Brian Hepburn said, Dieter doesn't have access to the super secret Godzilla vs. Kong underground tunnels. Brian, I would really... it would really be great to have those tunnels, because I hate to stuck in traffic. Those tunnels would be a great way to travel around the world. Victor Fontaine said, I can't watch Black Widow again. It will just sit on the shelf as part of the collection. So, Victor, I think you will get it anyway, okay? If you don't watch it, has to be complete, Terje Tiberius Morg said, let's get physical media with Jew and German. Doesn't ring quite as well, but a great point. And he said, Rob, if I made you a mixtape, Robert, I think it would just be To Live and Let Die by Wang Chang on both sides. That would be his mixtape for you. Gustavo Cheap said, Rob, I have pre-ordered the Suicide Squad Steelbook from Amazon Italy with Greek subs. So Gustavo, great, but I actually don't know why you're pointing out the Greek subs. Is there anything special about the Greek subs considering Suicide Squad? Let me know. The Grassy Knowles wrote in and he said, my wife went to prep school in Germany. She loves it there. Nice to know. Dieter won't go. Joe Dick said, Dieter won't go to Italy. They have terrible beer and they don't care for sauerkraut or sausages. Joe, I actually don't care for sauerkraut either.
Italy has great sausages.
Yeah, but he said sauerkraut too, I eat it, but it's not on the top of my list considering sauerkraut. Terje, of course, is back. Support for my German. Dune was not a masterpiece, okay? And then, Rob, I couldn't believe it. Oma94. I surprisingly enjoyed. Oma enjoyed something, Rob. I surprisingly enjoyed Dead Men Don't Wear Blade when I first saw it, Oma, so good on you. Reine Mare Frau. Cleaning woman. Okay, let me just see what else was there. Tim Hans said, I watched the original 1984 Dune at my local cinema last night. Great. And I thought it held up rather well. Did it, Tim? Did it really?
By the way, speaking of Dune, Dieter.
Right.
Any word on the box set?
No, still no cover. I don't know when the release date will be. I'll keep you posted as soon as there is movement on that set. And Rob, people know I read the live chat and they're probably trolling by design. Todd Taylor said Star Trek Picard might be the greatest Star Trek show in years.
Yeah, troll all you want, buddy. I'm not taking that bait.
No. So let me just see. Terje Tiberius Morg said, I want to be known as the Krusty Terje Morg.
The Krusty Terje. I don't know about that.
Okay. Brian Hepburn said, can we ease up on the personal Dieter comments, jokes or not? But Brian, that's what I read the live chat later for, the jokes and the comments, That's what I go through the live chat.
Yeah, if you can't make fun of us, what's the point?
Correct. Terje, again, Tiberius Morg, great movie, and he was talking about, of course, in China, they eat dogs. The bang, boom, bang of Denmark. Terje, perfect analytics. Couldn't say it any better. The bang, boom, bang of Denmark. In China, they eat dogs. And considering Dune, Terje had seen it too. I've seen it. The spice did not flow. It barely drizzled. Okay.
Oh, boy.
It barely drizzled. Joe Dick said, I like Dieter's movie. Talks about a secret exchange. But he should have shot Patrick and kept the hot toy. Well, Joe, good idea, but let me think about who wrote that damn script. It actually was me, and I had to get script approval from my boss, so probably would not have happened that way.
What can you do?
If we make a third part of it...
What do you mean, if?
Revenge. Revenge is best served cold. Perhaps there will be something happening in the third. Let's see about that. And then, great. Joe Dick, I thought Wohnzimmer, living room, Patrick's channel, was his last name. My groutiness is a little rusty. And now, a little bit, my was my friend Patrick is called Patrick Keller. And here's the funny fact, Rob. Keller actually means in English cellar. So he doesn't is called Patrick Living Room. He is called Patrick Cellar, actually, if you would translate it. So, Dieter showing a trading card to Rob in that. Dieter showing a trading card to Rob in that Rob doesn't have one. Okay, from my friend David Gogan.
I know. Well, what can I say? You know.
Yeah. So this was that. Joe K said, I feel like Dieter only gets mad once a year. Joe, you don't see me in traffic. You know? That I will change immediately. You know? Drive. Unbelievable. Rogue Finger said, there are some guests. There are some crates. No, wait. There are some crates and some trash. I think Dieter has a wide range of appreciation for the physical media. He is a melting pot of media. Thank you. That or just horrific, like Stubble would say. Tim Hans again. Curious how many of the quality trash movies Dieter purchases he watches more than once. Probably not that much, Tim, but that goes for big blockbuster movies too, because there's always new stuff coming out. You just can't keep up. Then Gary Benjo Sandwich Worthington said, whining, when is it back with Dieter in it? I don't know, Gary.
Soon.
I've sent out another formula, like the good Germ that I am. I put in a new request, a new formula I filled out, but I have not heard back, Gary.
Don't worry. You'll hear back soon.
Because Gary want me on whining about 3 films: Shang-Chi, No Time to Die, and Dune. If that happens, Gary, I only would suggest that Rob leaves me time enough to see Shang-Chi a second time when it is on Disney Plus, so I can get really a sense of the movie again. And Dune will be, of course, on HBO Max, so I can get a second watch on this too. Dieter, on next week's show, ask Rob if you've seen the Arcane trailer. I think he speaks of the Netflix trailer for the animated show, considering League of Legends.
Yeah, it looks. I think it looks great. The animation's really good. I'm curious to see it. Obviously, because it's like a competing show for Dota Dragon's Blood.
Correct.
So I want to see it.
Rob, something different, not in the live chat. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of the German box office. I know it's just a trip, the German box office, considering the money that comes in from Germany. But considering Dune has 2 weeks less running time than Shang-Chi here, it has already more viewers than Shang-Chi, even if it's got 2 weeks less of screen here. But considering those 2 movies, Shang-Chi and Dune, they are nothing against Paw Patrol, Rob. Paw Patrol puts them both here in Germany to shame. What can you say about the German viewing habits? And then on Instagram, Rob, I've seen this one. My friend Scott Adkins is coming back in Accident Man 2, a sequel to his Accident Man, and which was, for me, one of his best movies. So it's great that Scott comes back in Accident Man 2. So this was the live chat from last week.
Well, we've got some super chats and tips that have flown in. And, of course, Willow Yang, the lovely Willow is here. Willow says, this is a good question. In your mind, is there any canon in the Bond films, or do you view each new Bond as a reboot of the franchise? Do you subscribe to the popular theory that the name Bond itself is a code name given to different agents? I would have to say, look, the Bond movies had a loose canon in the beginning. The Connery Bonds have a pretty. You can watch them and you think, okay, they take place in the same universe, until the 6th Bond film was obviously on Her Majesty's Secret Service, where Connery was replaced, and things kind of changed then. I mean, to me, continuity never mattered to me in the Bond films. I mean, Blofeld was always played by a different actor. You went,
but this was the great thing about the Bond movies. They were just escapism fun for 2 hours every 2 years. You know, you didn't have to see the other movies to know what was going on. No.
Right, and to me, the different, like when Bond was replaced as the actor, the continuity goes out the window. But you know, they would keep things like when Judi Dench went from Pierce Brosnan to Daniel Craig. So that's never really bothered me. I mean, this idea of continuity in the Bond saga, it's never really been there for me, so I don't care. Although, it's really interesting. I've seen lists recently that people have made with Casino Royale being the first, where they've listed all the Bond films in a certain continuity. And you could, I think that's interesting. You can look at it that way, because, for instance,
interesting list.
They did things like, you know, in the beginning of For Your Eyes Only, Roger Moore is visiting Teresa Bond's grave, and she obviously died at the end of On Her Majesty's Secret Service. So I've always thought of the Bond movies more, instead of a canon, there's just more of a continuum of Bond films where they've existed in a continuum. So
and
I've never looked
never
at
been so connected.
No, and
movies, since the Daniel Craig era,
and that's
this
why
was
the
first
Bond. Yeah, it's weird. That's why the Daniel Craig era doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. The fact that they want to interconnect everything, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, to me, it's just one more instance of the Bond franchise following in the footsteps of someone else. In the 60s, the Bond franchise defined the genre, and ever since the 70s, it's kind of been playing catch-up. And I think the Craig era, for the most part, Daniel Craig never got a Bond movie where he went on a mission, where he was, you know, the opening pre-title sequence was the end of one mission and the beginning of the plot.
And often the pre-title sequence had nothing to do with the rest of the story.
No, and you would think that the pre-title sequence was the end of a movie you hadn't seen, you know, like
the climax.
The climax, and it was frustrating that Daniel Craig was never. I mean, he's retired 3 different movies. It's just he even retired in Casino Royale. You know, he tendered his resignation. Yeah. And it's like, why do they keep... I wish I could have seen... I would love to have seen... The biggest fault of the Daniel Craig era is I would have liked to have seen Bond at the height of his game, where Craig loved being Bond, he was out there saving the world, and there wasn't some personal, emotional stakes. And I think that really... I think ultimately... The Daniel Craig's tenure as Bond I have to say that it's been a tremendous disappointment after Casino Royale, and I'm a quantum apologist, but Skyfall, Spectre, and I haven't seen No Time to Die, but knowing what I know about it, they've leaned heavily into making the personal stakes for Bond the front and center showcase of what they're doing with his character, and I thought that was a mistake. I think it's actually hurt the franchise, even though it's, you know, the box office is up and nobody cares because, you know, most moviegoers haven't been watching Bond their whole lives. So, Harry Nice Guy says, saw Bond yesterday. Probably I'll buy the DVD, but for sure not the soundtrack. Oh, that's disappointing. That didn't work out for me, unfortunately. You know, and again, I have to tell you, you know, Hans Zimmer, we've got him on display in Dune and in No Time to Die, and I've listened to a few tracks, and, you know, he incorporates the score for On Her Majesty's Secret Service. We Have All the Time in the World.
You've got some references.
I love that score, but I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, okay, now you're directly tying this movie with, like, I loved it in the movie On Her Majesty's Secret Service when Bond was going to, again, retire, leave the service, and he's looking at all the gadgets from the previous movies, and you would hear a tinkling of score from each one of the Bond films. Well, that was cool, but to reference We Have All the Time in the World, that to me breaks the fourth wall, because that's something for the audience, and it's not for Bond. Give me a new theme. And I understand why he does that kind of thing, but that doesn't work for me. I'd rather hear a new theme that defines the movie itself.
It is tied with the story, with Lia Seydoux, you know.
No, I know, but it's what they're doing is their music is they're now combining On Her Majesty's Secret Service with this film, and they really have nothing to do with each other other than the fact that someone dies.
A lot of people die, Rob.
Yes, a lot of people die. There you go. Justin Toner. Hello, Justin. Hi, Rob and Dieter. This week, I got the new Blu-ray of Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid from Kino, Black Widow in 4K, and Speed in 4K. Zavi also finally shipped my Dune 4K Steelbook from Arrow. Next is the Legend Blu-ray set from Arrow. Can't wait. I really want to get that. I wish it was in 4K. I understand why it can't be. But a good collection. I mean, I'm buying more and more stuff from Zavi because they're putting out box sets, and they're putting out Studio Canal. They're doing The Howling. I can't wait to get that Howling, man. That's
the end of October, I believe.
Yeah.
Is the release date.
So that's the next big release from Studio Canal that I'm stoked about.
Great.
So that's cool. Justin goes on to say, also, Rob, last week I followed in the footsteps of Chairman Jeffrey Mao and did the full 5-movie Black Friday pre-order with Vinegar Syndrome, Flesh for Frankenstein, Creature, Dario Argento's Trauma, and 2 mystery titles. A true cat in the bag. I rolled the dice. Well, that's...
As you should, Justin.
As you should. As you should. Good one. I like that. Flesh for Frankenstein, definitely something to have. Creature, is that the Alien ripoff movie? I have to look and see if they're putting that out. I didn't.
The Alien ripoff movie?
Yeah, Creature.
Extra? You mean
No. There's a movie actually called Creature that was a very, very much an Alien ripoff. I kind of liked it. I saw it in the theater. It's all right.
Okay.
D. Duval 59 says, Rob, are any of the MCU movies worthwhile getting in 4K if they're all scanned at 2K intermediates? Maybe Iron Man 1 and The Incredible Hulk. Great show, guys. Well, I have to tell you that it's a great point you're making, that Infinity War and Endgame and the Marvel movies, I'm not sure which ones of them were actually finished in 4K. They usually don't because the visual effects, it takes far longer to render things in 4K. But when they're doing upscale and they're adding HDR or a high dynamic range or Dolby Vision, that's where these discs can shine, and that makes them worth getting. Where I think where they have fallen down is a lot of the time the Atmos mixes lack a punch. Yeah. The home video sound mixes on Disney titles have been unfortunately underwhelming.
And volume, mostly.
Yeah, and that's a bummer. But again, that's where reviews come in handy, go into the digital bits, and they really go in heavily to the technical specs of the discs. But it depends. I mean, I think some of them have been more worthwhile than others. But the idea of getting them in 4K, it means somebody's looking at them, remastering them, and what you want is HDR and Dolby Vision, really. Yeah. So
just buy one and see for yourself if it would be worth for you getting the movies again.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I would say. Terrier is here and says, picture this. You've been kidnapped, tied to a chair, and someone is torturing you by watching the same movie over and over and over for 48 hours. What movie is it? Well, I'd want to pick a movie that wouldn't be torture for me to watch over and over and over again for 48 hours.
Of course not.
I would probably pick something like either The Godfather Part 2 or Return of the King, the extended version of Return of the King, because I like those movies, and if they're really long. Or you could pick like Berlin Alexanderplatz, which is how many hours is that? You have to watch the whole thing. I'd go for a long movie, so you wouldn't have to watch it as many times.
I go the different route, Rob. I choose a shorter one. I would choose Detroit Rock City, because for me it's like a good music CD I can hear over and over again. I would choose Detroit Rock City. 40, how much? 48 hours?
48 hours.
No problem.
Yeah, because you'd sleep through some of that too. So, I mean, I guess you're being tortured. They wouldn't let you sleep, but yeah. So they were caught up on the super chats and the tips.
Okay, I have
you have a special edition.
Left, yeah, and I have one letter left. Rob. Let's do the letter first, because it comes from my friend David Kogel. And David Kogel writes in, and he says, "Hello, Rob and Dieter, and hope you are well. Rob, I was drawing a portrait of you wearing the Star Trek Discovery shirt that Dieter gave you. Unfortunately, one of my cats jumped on my drawing table and urinated on it. So the drawing is ruined it's ruined for all time. I could do it over, but choose to see this as a sign that the project should be abandoned. I'm sure you are heartbroken at this development.
Heartbroken, David.
Rob?
Heartbroken.
Yeah, totally. Okay, the above was a bit of silliness, but I do have a coffee mug bearing some of my artwork that I shall be mailing to your PO box. You may recall Dieter showing his coffee mug on the show, but the featured artwork on your mug is different than this. Keep an eye out for it. We will get a mug, Rob.
I will look for that.
Second, congratulations on the growing success of Tango Shalom. I watched it in an online film festival back in March and loved it.
Oh, thank you.
Third, I heard Mark Altman appear as a guest on the Gary Anderson podcast. Gary's son, Jamie, does a great job keeping his father's legacy alive, as well as overseeing all manner of physical merch from the worlds of Anderson. Now that Mark has been on that show, is there any chance that Jamie will be interviewing you in the future?
I don't know. I've known Jamie a little bit. I've talked to him in the past. I really like him. I'd love to be on the podcast. Obviously, I'm a huge Jerry Anderson fan. As a matter of fact, based on Bill Hunt's review, I had to get the imprint Space 1999 collection, the Blu-rays, because it's the most comprehensive version of the Blu-rays that have come out. So I picked that up recently. I haven't got it yet, but I ordered it.
Okay. And finally, I would like to ask Dieter to give us a German word for the week. I missed the German lessons on the show. With that, I bid you farewell for now. Keep up the good work, gentlemen. Regards, David Vogel. So, you want a German word, David. Okay. I make it easy for myself. I will check. I hope I still have it. The longest. We already had it on the show. I will see if I can find it. The longest word in German that I could find, considering what Google was telling me. Let me see if I can find it. So the longest word in Germany has 67 letters, and it says Grundstücksverkehrsgenehmigungszuständigkeitsübertragungsverordnung. The longest German word. David, I hope you're satisfied with that. What does that mean? It has something to do with the traffic and the rights, and something like this is more of a law. But this is the longest German word I can find for you. No, 67 letters. Unfortunately, not more. So this was the third letter. Should I get to my special edition, Rob?
Yes, you should. What special edition?
Since I showed this special edition already to you in a more private Skype call, and I thought, since I only had 3 titles, the special edition had to be a little bit bigger. This was from Japan again. This is the Alien vs. Predator special edition set, which of course is like here, just DVD.
Look at that.
So I put it on the side, and let's see what was in that box. So at first, we've got here an exclusive art frame.
Wow.
For it. So it's actually just the frame where you can put the posters that are in this edition probably in it. I haven't gotten it out for a long time, but this is really just a frame you can use. So, and in it, oh my god, get it out here. This was the little Alien Predator box. So let's see.
That's insane, dude.
So this was the box.
Why aren't I going full frame on this?
And inside, let me see. What it holds. Put it aside. Makes it a little bit more easy for me. So I have archives. Alien versus Predator. Unfortunately, my Japanese is a little bit rusty. No, but luckily there are some.
God bless the Japanese.
pics in it. So this was a little fold out inside of it. This was on the back. So you've got these little, don't know if I can call it a booklet. It's a little bit bigger than a normal booklet.
Amazing, though.
Then we have, let's see if I can get it out, posters and stuff in it. So we have the probably Japanese poster, Alien vs. Predator. Oh no, this is a booklet 2. Inside, of the ship, everything, and goes together, and we can fold out this one too.
How cool is that?
The Japanese always come through. Unfortunately, a lot of text. So you've got another booklet, and these are probably posters. Which one says just vote?
Wow.
The Predator.
Who do you want to win?
Yeah, correct. So you've got posters in it, and the final box, which is no, not the final box. Make this the last one, just to show you the insides. Here are the insides.
Wow.
Where the DVDs are in it.
Are those both Alien versus Predator movies?
No, Rob. It's just the first one. But the movies are all in it. So it's first Alien, Alien 2, But these are pretty standard. So we got Alien 2, Alien 3, Alien, Predator, Predator 2, and Alien vs. Predator. So the second one was not. The Requiem is not in the box, and the second one is one disc for every movie, considering special features.
Right.
So, and then what was in this box too was original design art replica. Again, Japanese always pack the stuff very good. Just see if I can lay it down here. We have art replica.
Wow.
For the movie Predator. These are 2. We have our xenomorph. Then this one.
That's cool.
Then art design. And for this, you could probably use the frame that this way. For something is wrong.
Yeah.
This way. You could probably use the art frame. So you've got art replicas for movie. So it's always nice to see, well, there's some work for the movie being done, no matter what you think of the movie.
It's very cool. All that stuff's very cool. Now, how much did that cost?
Rob, I don't know anymore. The set is a DVD set. I don't know.
I guess it doesn't really matter.
Probably not that cheap. It was not a Schnäppchen. I'm
No.
pretty sure, but I don't even recall, Rob, what this way the price.
Oh yeah.
Price was from this. Still have art replica to go. It's probably all from the pyramid they were fighting in. And wait, what is this? I haven't opened this box in a long time. Is there something else? No, this is just empty to keep everything together. Okay, Rob, this was my little special Alien vs Predator Japanese, I don't know, super duper edition. But unfortunately not with Alien vs Predator Requiem, just the first one and all the other Alien.
But it's
just
a fantastic box set.
DVD set. Yeah. Right.
Well, sir, I mean, I think we've gone almost 90 minutes here, and you have a live show to prep for.
Correct, Rob. I have to check my notes for Riders of Justice that I don't forget anything about the movie. And let's see how the baptism of fire will go for Paul. If he can manage the software to use exactly right. And let's see how we will do.
Well, this was a fine show. Don't forget.
Watch Squid Game, Rob.
I'm going to watch Squid Game, and you have to watch The Chestnut Man.
Yeah. I already written it down, but I didn't stumble across it. The Chestnut Man.
Yeah.
And it's a Danish series again. Rob.
It's Danish, yes.
So once again, Riders of Justice, great. In China, they eat dogs is a Danish movie. They're killing it, Rob. They're killing it. Okay.
Tom Jr. Jackson says, due to tech problems, today's Twin Flicks live show has been canceled and a new date will be announced soon. Dieter, check your messages.
I will, Paul. No problem. So,
I want 10%, by the way. I'm your agent. 10%.
Yeah, I know. I've read the fine print, Rob.
All right, sir. Well, this has been a fine show. We'll be back with Shout Factories. I'm going to take a look and see what I think of their Halloween transfer.
Yeah, nice.
That'll be interesting. I want to thank my moderating staff, Dean Mikatich, Justin Toner. I don't know who else is here. Louise X. Sparrow. I always think that Louise X. Sparrow should be an X-Man character. I wonder what her mutant superpower is. Justin Toner. I want to thank all of you all for being here, my blue wrenches. Robservations will be back at 3 o'clock today with sort of a special show where we're going to talk about a new documentary that's come out about a forgotten civil rights leader who broke a lot of ground that history has sort of forgotten about. And one of our own imagination connoisseurs, Mickey Lito, she was his aunt, his father's sister. So we're going to talk about that on today's Robservations and the new Hulu documentary about her that dropped on Friday. So that'll be fun. And I guess we're not going to be able to watch you on Twin Flicks, but hey.
That's technical problems is always part of the YouTube.
It's true.
YouTube business.
It is true. So, do you want to say our favorite saying in German?
Okay. Jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel via Super Chats and Tips, and those people that have become members of the channel. Thank you very much. There's going to be a lot more new stuff dropping, Set to Stun, more PGS All-Star videos, and I'm finally going to put out my interview with Diane Duane, Star Trek novelist and science fiction writer Diane Duane, and fantasy writer. It'll be coming out this week to celebrate the Coda series that is coming out.
Have you read the novel, Rob?
Yes. A lot of people die. A lot of people die. It's very dire. It's going to be a barn burner of a trilogy. Lots of interesting things happen. I'm curious to see where they're going to take it. I mean, I do object to the fact that all of Star Trek has been taken over by usurpers. The Star Trek hostage crisis sees no signs of abating, but what are you going to do? Maybe it's good that I think the Star Trek Coda series will be the last Star Trek books I buy in terms of novels.
Yeah.
So,
You told-
what are you going to do? And on that note, Dieter,
See you again next week.
next week.
Good.